might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Today is Monday, January 15th, 2024. Welcome to a new week. For some people, it is a holiday, a day off, and some people have to work. But regardless of what it is, we do not miss. We continue to put in the work. If you do not know who I am your host of the Koffee and Kata morning show. I am Tech Coach Ralph, where we are engineered to win. That is what we do here. That is our focus. We love to engineer. We love to win. We combine the two and we have tons and tons of success. So, this weekend was really, really busy for me. Had to take a trip on Saturday, like 2 hours away from here, to meet with someone, mainly for my parents, for his organization, to meet with someone from my dad about getting some computers for schools in Haiti. So I had to make the drive up there and then the drive back down here. And then yesterday, a lot of work, getting ready for Cybersecurity Week with SOX. Tomorrow night we have our Q&A, and the live stream yesterday was really good. A lot of information. I'm going to chop some of that up because, the information about adding value to the company that you work for and how to grow and expand in that. And then last night, we ended up going live to do some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu self-analysis. We were reviewing one of my matches from last year, one of my competitions. Good stuff all around. And then, just working, ended up going to bed because I still had to do some development work for my Patreon group, for my Tech Barbarians, my coaching group. So, work all around. Ended up going to bed like maybe 1:30 in the morning, getting everything done. But here we are. We do not miss. And guess what? I did not start the show later at 8 because I wasn't up and ready to go. Actually, because today is a holiday for me, I was like, I can get started a little later because I really, really enjoy tuning into the Tech Niche Tips morning show on Mondays with Joseph and Trey. I had scheduled it for 8:30 so I can catch the first 30 minutes of their show. But then I was like, this is really, really good. So I said, you know what? I have time. I'm going to push it to 8 o'clock so that we can get started. So I would advise you guys, go ahead and check out the channel Tech Niche Tips. I'll drop it in the chat as well. Let me pull it up, right? I'll drop it in the chat. But I really enjoy working with them, tuning into the show. They had a great show on Saturday as well. So yeah, so I just wanted that's where I was, right? That's where I was tuning in, contributing to the chat and everything like that. I'm gonna drop a link to Tech Niche Tips channel in the chat. Because I really like tuning into their show. Let me drop that in there. And they had some amazing conversations this morning. And that's why I was like, oh, you know what? I have time today. It's a holiday. Let me push our morning show a little bit back, but we don't miss. We're still going to get to it. We are going to do our news stories, and then we are going to get into our development work. All right. We're going to continue with the AI challenge. So let's just jump right into it. All right. So If you haven't done so yet, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you can know every time we go live. Like the video, share the video, all of that good stuff. Check out the Patreon, of course, at www.techcoachralph.dev, where you can find exclusive content to help you level up your tech career. And you can also sign up for one-on-one coaching with me. We have 2 tiers of coaching. Whatever works best for you. I am here for you. But once the spots fill up, it's it. That's it. Because I still have my day job doing QA. I am doing development work as well, and coaching. So YouTube, creating videos, creating content. So my time is stretched very, very thin. So get in now, or don't get it at all. I don't want you to be looking in from the outside and wishing that you had made the right investments into your life when you could have. All right. So anyhow, let's jump into our news stories. All right. So the very, very first story. Arctic blast bears down on US. And I work with people in the Midwest, right? So I've been hearing about how the snow is coming down and it's getting colder and it's a blizzard out there. So we just want to keep all of those who are going through this Arctic blast in our thoughts, because let's read the article first, right? So Arctic blast bears down on US. An Arctic blast is threatening much of the country, with more than 110 million people facing advisories and temperatures falling 20 to 40 degrees below average. 2 people died in weather-related incidents in Oregon, and more than 150,000 residents were without power on Sunday. Let's keep that in mind right quick, right? 150,000 people, no power, in freezing cold weather, right? That is not a good condition to be in. Hopefully, I'm going to assume and hope that in those cases, they might have gas-powered furnaces and stoves and stuff like that. I remember one time I was in New York at my cousin's house, and it was cold, not cold enough to snow or anything like that, because I would have got out of there as fast as possible. But it was cold, and what they did was they turned on, they opened the oven and turned on the stove to provide some additional heat into the house, right? So I can't even imagine, when it gets down here into down here in South Florida, when it gets into the 60s, I already start feeling some type of way. So I can't even imagine what people who have to go through this, So hundreds of thousands of homes in the eastern U.S. also lost power over the weekend amid a powerful winter storm. I didn't even put our timer up. Oh my goodness. Hopefully good guy didn't see this. Oh my goodness. Let's put the timer up. All right. Sorry, good guy. Sorry.
Good guy.
All right. So hundreds of thousands of homes in the eastern U.S. also lost power over the weekend amid a powerful winter storm. Extreme cold poses a danger to power grids and water pipelines in the south over the next couple of days, authorities say. Airlines canceled or delayed thousands of flights over the holiday weekend, according to FlightAware. The National Weather Service warned of the risk of frostbite and hypothermia as wind chills reach numbers like negative 60. Negative 60 degrees in Montana. One more time. Negative 60 degrees in Montana. Unreal. The Pittsburgh Steelers Buffalo Bills playoffs game scheduled for Sunday has been postponed to Monday afternoon due to the weather, New York Governor Kathy Hochul said on X. Ooh, that, my thoughts and my prayers are out there to everyone who is in whatever area that is affected by the Arctic blast, which is a lot of the United States, and hopefully that they have good heat, a good furnace, whatever it is that they use, hopefully that they are getting taken care of, because this is not the best condition to be in. So wishing you guys the best out there. Hopefully it warms up very, very soon. All right, let's jump into our next one. The FAA demands more data from Boeing. It says the Federal Aviation Administration wants additional data from Boeing before the company's 737 MAX 9 jets can fly again, according to a statement released late Friday. The FAA says the new information is required before it signs off on inspections and maintenance procedures for airlines. The announcement came just hours after the FAA said it plans to audit the 737 MAX production line. Boeing has been under intense scrutiny following last week's incident aboard an Alaska Airlines flight in which a door-sized panel blew out, forcing an emergency landing. I wonder, because of the pressure and stuff like that, how was it able to make it? I don't know. I guess I had a misconception of if the door opens while it's in mid-flight, what happens to the plane, Alaska started preliminary inspections of its Boeing 737 MAX 9 plans over the weekend. The FAA notified Boeing of its original investigation on Thursday in a letter to a quality assurance official at the company. There was no immediate response from Boeing. Also on Thursday, a class action lawsuit was filed in Washington State against Boeing on behalf of the passengers of Alaska Airlines Flight 1282, reports CNN. Gross orders at European plane makers Airbus more than doubled last year compared with 2022, hitting an all-time high. So about I see posts and questions and comments about how QA is not valued, right? The FAA notified Boeing of its original investigation on Thursday in a letter to a quality assurance official at Boeing, right? You see, you might think that you're not valued, but once you don't do your job well and doors start flying out of planes, that's when you see how valued you are. So you better be on your P's and Q's, making sure that you don't take any shortcuts and that you are following the right procedures. This is a quality assurance issue right here. How do all these planes get by the QA process and then in production, a production bug that you're finding these bugs and stuff, right? Like this is crazy. All right. Anyways, that's where we're at with the Boeing thing. The FAA demands more data from Boeing. And here's the thing: when you take shortcuts, that's when you get regulations and the government coming in and checking on you. This should have been this shouldn't even have been an issue, right? Things happen, but for bolts and then finding it on multiple planes, come on. Anyways, let's get to our next issue. All right, our next story. Economists see less recession risk. Economists see only about a 1 in 4 chance of a recession on the horizon, according to the Wall Street Journal's latest quarterly survey, compared with 48% in October. Among their reason for this sunny outlook, income growth is outpacing inflation. Okay. The Federal Reserve is expecting to start cutting interest rates and gas prices have fallen. Yet, for a lot of people, it is still going to feel like a recession, the journal says. Here's a question. If it feels like a recession, but you're not technically in a recession, but you're not on paper, you're not in a recession, but it feels like a recession. Are you not in a recession, or are you in a recession, right? If you can't find a job, if you can't afford your insurance, your housing, and everything like that, and things do not look good, things are not and that's for most people. Do we need to change the criteria of what a recession is, or is it I don't know? This seems like I don't know. And in our next two stories, you'll see what's going on. All right. So for a lot of people, it's still going to feel like a recession. The journal says GDP and job growth are expected to slow, and unemployment is projected to rise to 4.3% by the end of the year. So we're at 3 point something percent right now, right? And you're saying that economists see less risk of a recession, right? So it's a 1 in 4 chance of a recession. However, right? However, comma. GDP and job growth are expected to slow, and unemployment is projected to rise to 4.3% by the end of the year. But, we are not in a recession. There is a very low risk. There's a 25% chance instead of a 48% chance of getting into a recession. It's kind of, and it's also interesting, right? That interest rates have been going up and up and up for the past 4 years, and gas prices they were going up. They've been coming back down and all right, but they were going up for the past 4 years. But now all of a sudden, during an election year, officially in an election year, their the interest rates are starting to be cut by the Federal Reserve, and the gas prices are also starting to are decreasing during an election year, as always, right? As always. Anyway, so healthcare was economists' top pick by far for the strongest sector for hiring in 2024. So, all my tech people, especially if you have a healthcare background, you want to start looking into these healthcare roles to try to get in good there, okay? The consensus is that the Fed will make its first rate cut in the second quarter, right before election time, right? Right during the primaries and everything like that. So this is going to be interesting, okay? All right, let's move on to our next article. AI to disrupt 40% of all jobs. Did I say all? Yes, it said all jobs. The surge in artificial intelligence applications and their implications for their workforce is expected to be a hot topic of discussion at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland this week. Kristalina Georgieva, the head of the International Monetary Fund, IMF, issued a warning that nearly 40% of jobs globally could be affected by developments in artificial intelligence, for better or for worse. A new IMF analysis shows the effects are likely to be particularly acute in advanced economies where about 60% of positions could see an impact, compared with about a quarter in low-income countries. So basically, in first world countries, maybe some second world countries, there would be a 60% where 60% of positions can have an impact, compared with about in lower income third world countries and maybe some second world countries, only about 25% would have an impact. So I like I always tell you guys, right? Don't get into the fear mongering. Level up your skills. Make sure you pivot. Look into the positions that need AI and start learning now. You should have been learning it before, right? But like you saw, like when as soon as the Amazon chatbot Amazon Q was released, we did a video about it. We went in there and started trying to explore it, trying to implement it and everything, which you still have to revisit, right? But I at least, and on this channel, we do not fear AI. We embrace it. Like I use AI every single day to help make it is my administrative and executive assistant, right? So I don't run from it. I embrace it because it makes me go faster. And for things I wouldn't have hired a human to do anyways, right? So so I run towards AI and I embrace it. And for those who are fearful of it, you're the 60% who's going to be. I mean, like I said, for better or for worse, but you'll be the worst part who gets affected because you do not want to expand and level up. All right. Citing anonymous sources, Bloomberg reports that Apple is shutting down an AI-related team in San Diego, leaving many employees at risk of termination. It's possible, but like having Apple on your resume, I can always say it, right? I'd rather have the opportunity to work for a major company and then go somewhere else instead of like not having the opportunity at all, not getting to learn and not getting to grow. So I see everything as an opportunity. People see termination and layoffs as only negative, but everything can be turned for good. All right. So now, and this is very interesting. Talking about like less of recession proof or less risk of a recession, but now AI is disrupting 40% of all jobs. So let's get to our very last one. Our last article for today, and then we will get back and we'll get into our coding session. So let's go to this one, and we go. It says Citigroup to cut 20,000 jobs. What? Yes, 20,000 jobs. Citigroup will cut 20,000 jobs, it said Friday, as part of CEO Jane Fraser's push to put the bank back on solid financial footing. The cuts will save Citigroup as much as $2.5 billion. Yes, $2.5 billion, though it also expects to incur up to $1 billion in severance payments and other costs tied with Fraser's overhaul. Citigroup saw revenue plunge 25% in the fourth quarter, but Fraser said 2024 will be a turning point for the business. The first wave of layoffs in Fraser's restructuring began in November. As bank earnings kick off, Citigroup's not the only lender saying it suffered in the fourth quarter. JP Morgan Chase saw an earnings drop of 15% year over year, though that's mainly thanks to the $2.9 billion fee it paid in connection with the regional bank crisis, per CNN. Bank of America paid its own $2.1 billion fee over the crisis, which helped have its quarterly net income from a year earlier. Wells Fargo quarterly losses were higher than expected due to severance charges and contributions to replenish the Federal Deposit Insurance Corp. So, what it sounds like to me are the banks are saying,
I'm in a bind, Nate.
It does, right? So, it's rough out there. So let's get back to full screen. That is our news stories for today. And it really sounds like...
One more thing. Price of the brick going up.
The price of the brick is going up, like Marlo said. All right. So that is our news stories for today. Let's put we'll go with let's see what we'll go with today. Let's go with 25 minutes for today. All right. So we are going to get back into our AI testing challenge. Let's put our 25 minutes up on the clock and let's get to it. All right. So let me see. Where do we want to go? All right. Let me pull up the code. Not the code, but let me pull up the GitHub repository. All right, let's do that. Let's do that. And let's do AI test challenge. All right, perfect. So we have our, all right, so let's go to this one. All right, so we have, so we're working on this one, right? So I reached out to Don yesterday to ask him where we can get this predefined answer set because I don't have the predefined answer set. I'm not sure if he does. So we'll be looking into that, right? But we can still continue with our test. What we want to do is so what we can do today is we can send our let's integrate let's integrate with the API, right? So let me pull up OpenAI as well. OpenAI.com. And let's go to login. Let's close that one out. And hold on. API. Quick start. All right, cool. So we want to did all that and did all that. Set up your API key. We did all that. Set up your okay. So sending your first request. All right. So this is pretty much what we're gonna do next. Let's see. And all right. So let's go to the other screen. And let's see what we have so far, right? So what we did last time, we had oh, and before I go on, let's stop the show real quick. Let me go to full screen. Let's say, because I didn't address the chat, right? So Operation Tech Takeover says peace and blessings, family. Peace and blessings to you too, Operation Tech Takeover. So happy to have you here as always. I saw you. We were Operation Tech Takeover and I were talking about our younger days over at Tech Niche in the Tech Niche Tips chat, talking about our lives back in the days of Caprices and Impalas. We were sharing about our memories and stuff like that. So we'll have a conversation about that at a later date. But welcome, welcome, welcome. Have a wonderful morning and day. Tech Takeover. Are you on your way to work today, or do you happen to have the day off? I wouldn't be surprised if you're on your way to work, because you are always on your way to work. But yeah, so just checking in with you, and thank you for always supporting the show. All right. So all right, let's get back to it. And I hope how did your study session go yesterday? Tech Takeover had a study session while we were having our BJJ self analysis show last night, which was really really good. If you're interested in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, definitely check that out from last night. All right, let's get to it. So we're here, and so what we did was we just did a basic API. So this is set in the this OpenAI key is set in my environment variables. We're setting it up over here, and we were just like making a basic to get the models. Remember, we're using BDD to do this. We're using Behave library. This is the feature file. So let's give that a run real quick. Let's see. Let me just behave. I just do behave. All right. Let's see. Why did we fail? And I always like when I come back to it to just run it to see what happens. Let's see. So item has no attribute. Let's see what's going on here. I'm thinking it's probably because line 22. I'm thinking my I need to re-export the API key. So give me a second to do that. Let me do that real quick. Do that in the terminal. Export OpenAI API key equals. All right, so now let's run it again, see what we get. Behave. And we're still failing. Why is, let's see. Why are we failing? All right, so it says str has no attribute items. Str has no attribute items. I don't know what they mean by that. Sample response request. Well, let's do this, right? We're just going to we're not going to worry about this particular models thing because how did it work the other day, right? But we are going to implement like what's on the, we're going to implement this, right? So let's go to here and we're going to implement this right here, right? So we're going to do client chat completion create model GPT 3.5 turbo, and then we're going to do this. Role system, your poetic assistant, skilled in expanding with flair. User, compose a poem. I wonder if you need both of those. To enter, all right, run that, and then, all right, so let's try that, right? Let's try to implement this. First, let's read what Tech Takeover says. He says, I'm off today, about to go in the lab and work on this material. It was good, had some technical difficulties, but overall it was fine. I had to give a presentation this coming Sunday, so we will see. If you need to practice the presentation, reach out to me. I am here, all ears. So let me know, and I can help you out with that. So just reach out to me. Let me know if you need some ears and some eyes for the presentation, and I will jump on a call with you to get that taken care of. All right? Okay. So let's start implementing this. So I'm gonna go back over here. And we're going to get rid of this response. All right. We're going to go with, we already have client. So, but where does, oh, wait a second, real quick. Let me see if I do this. And let me see what happens if I do that. Nope. The API key option must be set by passing API key to the client or by setting the but I have the OpenAI API key set in the environment variable. You know what it might be? All right. I think I know what it might be. Let's do this. I'm guessing I had to set the OpenAI API key in this terminal. Let's see. So we're not getting that error anymore. So that took care of that. All right. Anyways, so let's move on. Let's get rid of this because we're not going to be using this anyways. This worked last time. I don't know why it's acting up today, but let's go to. Let's start off with there, right? So this might not be in the best spot to put it, but we can start here. Client dot chat dot completion dot create, and then we're gonna do model is GPT 3.5 turbo, and then messages. And let's just start with the. I'm just gonna start with one of them, right? We're gonna start with role. Role user content And the content is going to be context.prompt. And let's say we do and we can say, let's just say print completion dot choices 0 dot message, right? Let's see. Something that work. Okay, so this has to be outside of that. So let's try to run this, see what we get, right? Not entirely sure what's gonna happen. Okay, cool. So this went through. I don't get a printout because this of behave being weird, but let's do this again. Behave. Let's see. I am not getting my response, but it's probably because of behave, right? So let's go with how did we do this last time? Behave. See what we used last time. No capture. No capture. All right. Let's say we go. No capture. No color. Right. All right. That's what we got. Here we go. So here goes our answer. Content as AI. I don't have any real-time data, therefore I cannot provide information on the top selling EV for 2023. The top selling EVs can vary from year to year, depending on various factors such as market demand, new releases, blah, blah. Wow. That's interesting. We're not getting an answer. So let me get rid of this now. Interesting. What if we use the higher GTP, right? So here's what we're going to do, right? So here goes our answer. It gives us our answer. What we're going to do is can I get check completed message and then content maybe? Let's see. Jason. Nope, that's not gonna work. Trying to get like this part. But I'm gonna increase the language model though, because I would expect an answer for that. Maybe not though. Let's see. Let's try. Let's try GTP4. See what we get. Ah, shoot, I didn't print it out. Darn it. All right, so what we're gonna do, we are going to say, I'm not sure how to get that content out of there. All right, so let's say, let's look at the code over here. I'm looking over here to see how do I take out any documentation here. All right, so prompt engineering, production, so just documentation. All right, clear instructions, give them all time to think, test changes systematically. Let me see. Tutorials, models. Let's see. So we got this part. Check complete. All right, let's see check. Okay, there it goes. API reference, right? So we have that. We can investigate. We can do some testing around the images too. We'll figure that out. Let's see. Returns. All right. So that's what I'm interested in, returns, right? The chat completion. Chat completion object. We're going, okay. So we just need, all right, we just need content in there. So let's see if we can print that out. Let's see if we can print that out. So we have messages and then, so completion, choice, and then content. Let's print that out. See what we get. Behave, no capture, no color. So AI is not able to get that type of data, at least OpenAI. So let's change our prompt then, right? But as we can see, so okay, so we're gonna say completion, or I'm gonna change it completion to send prompt to OpenAI, something that we can easily understand. And then we're going to name this response from OpenAI. Am I using this somewhere else? OpenAI, and we're going to say context dot response from OpenAI equals response from OpenAI, right? Now we're going to take this response from OpenAI and we're going to go down here into the context and say, so we're going to I'm going to change the prompt question, right? But what I'm going to do is, so here is, we're going to do print. Actually, we can just do it like that, right? We don't need to do this. Here we can do an assertion. Assert that expected response from OpenAI is equal to is equal to context dot response from OpenAI. And we're going to say, if that is not the case, we would like it to say expected and actual response is going to be context dot response from AI, right? So so that is our testing scenario. Let's move this to a next line and move that to a next line and give space. All right, so now we want to do, just for now at least, after, like, we'll clean it up by removing this because we don't really need these two print statements, but AI actual response, just because I want to see it, right? And it's going to be context dot response from AI, right? So there it goes. Let's go ahead and let's add that. And oh, actually, we're gonna, because we know we're not gonna get this answer for some reason. So let's say, who is the CEO of Tesla? And the response should be Elon Musk. And it's probably gonna give you a long answer. But we can fix that. And then we can say another one is, what is 5 plus 5? And we can say our expected result is 10. And then, all right, and the last one we can do, who is the current president? Or it might not know that, actually. Let's see. Let's see if it knows. Joe Biden. So let's take a run at it, see what we get. So we should run all three of these tests through this, and it should give us some responses. I think that the responses are going to be, like, they're not going to match entirely. So one thing we might end up having to implement is a likeness type of thing to like rate, like, see how close the answers are together. But this is good for now, right? So let's give it a run. Let's see what we get. So we had 1 passed and 2 failed, right? So let's look at that. So this failed. So as of my last update of October 2021, the current president is Joe Biden. And you see, because of all this text, that's why it failed. But it's actually the right answer. Which we can. There's different ways we can account for that. We can probably use a natural language processing library to take this and make sure that and compare it to make sure that what our expected result is inside of the actual result. So it's something that we'll definitely look into as we keep going. And let's take a look at the other one. So this one was pretty easy, 10 and 10. And then okay, so you see what I mean? The CEO of Tesla is Elon Musk, but we just wanted the name. So let's say let's add here. We'll do one more test of this. And we can change this to GTP 3.5 turbo. Back to that. Make sure that's the right. Start. GTP 3.0 turbo, right? So let's do system content. And let's say you are in a trivia contest where you just need a direct answer to the question. Let's see if we do that type of if like not to get into the natural language processing. If we say we just need a direct answer to the question, if it's going to if it will just answer the question without what is this? If it'll just answer the question without like giving all this extraness, all right? So we can do it one more time. So this one we just wanted to say Elon Musk, and the last one we just wanted to say Joe Biden. Let's see what we can do, and after that we'll wrap it up. Okay, so let's get to it. So 2 scenarios passed and 1 failed, right? So which one failed? So the one for the current president, it couldn't give us an answer because of its last update. We got that one right, and this one, Elon Musk, right? So the natural language processing would, that's something that we definitely have to consider. Would be good, but cool. So it can't tell you the current president because of the time of when it was last updated. It doesn't know that it's 2024, but it's pretty cool. Anyways, that is what we've got today. So what we did today, we were able to integrate the API for OpenAI into our test. We built out some predefined sets, but I still want to connect with Don to get if he has any particular predefined sets, because I'm just using what things I can think of. But when you're doing testing, you should be given the criteria for the test data and stuff like that, so that you can have a good balance and a good input to compare to the output. So we're gonna keep working on getting that from him. He's been super busy lately, but it is what it is. We can write all the tests without even having this stuff, right? So I think with this, we are in a good shape over here. So we've completed our task accuracy. We just need to make sure that we might have to come back and do a little bit of updates. Let's clean this up real quick. We don't really need that. Any more prints in here? We don't really need that. Probably need another line here. And that's good. No, I don't like that. Let's go right there in the middle. Cool. All right, so there we have it. So let's go ahead and wrap this up for today. Okay. So that is our morning show for today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Let me get this off. And before we go, let me just address Tech Takeover in the chat. He says, I have. Yeah, I knew what you meant. Well, I at first I wasn't sure if you meant yesterday you had to give the presentation, or that today or this coming Sunday you have to give the presentation. But thanks for clearing that up. But I figured that's what you meant when you said coming Sunday. But yeah, so, and then Tech Takeover says, if I get stuck, I will definitely reach out to you. Even if you don't get stuck, to be honest with you, if you just need someone to as a soundboard to listen and ask questions, because here is the thing, right? A lot of times, especially I see this a lot of times in interviews, right? We'll answer questions, we'll practice and stuff like that, but until you have that conversation and feedback until you have the conversation and feedback, you don't know what you're going to get, and that's why I always like to be prepared in everything, especially when I'm interviewing or making a presentation. Now I'm a little bit more comfortable with it just because I go live so often. So, but even still, still get nervous sometimes, especially when talking to a new crowd, a new audience. So I just like to practice, and I think that getting those butterflies out before you actually get into the whatever event that is very helpful. And then field some questions so that you can know what to expect and stuff like that, right? And I particularly like to when I do like interview prep and stuff, make it more challenging because I want when the person goes into their actual interview that it is a lot easier than the way that I push them, right? So just throwing that out there, anytime you need me, I'm here. Just throw up the bat signal and I will be there to help out in whatever way I can, all right? So with that being said, we're going to wrap it up. We have tomorrow night, Socks and I are going live to do cybersecurity Q&A. So we'll be having at least two cybersecurity for cybersecurity questions clips from our cybersecurity show last month coming out. So enjoy that, and then you do not want to miss. So listen up, all right? Listen up. You do not want to miss the candid conversation that's being released at noon today. It's premiering at noon, right? It is about how to treat your life as the business that it is. Very, very important. I cannot stress how important it is. You definitely want to tune in for that. It goes into some strategy and some concepts that I start to mention, but ultimately those are going to be broken down in way more detail in the Patreon. But you definitely want to tune into that at noon Eastern time today. It is going to be revolutionary. It is a great way to get started in 2024. So definitely check that out. Let me know what you think. Leave me a comment. Reach out to me, whatever it is, right? Just let me know. And like I said, tomorrow we're going to be going live. We're going to be having content on cybersecurity throughout the week. We're going live just about every day this week. All right. So tune in for that. I hope to see you there. On the way out, if you haven't done so yet, subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you can know every single time we go live. Like the video, share the video. Check out the Patreon at www.techcoachralph.dev. And on that note, my friends, my family, we are out.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.